Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima kawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop and smart TVs as we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book. The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Real Hotel. The ticket comes with a book, all this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 9076 or 0783 04 7785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Dig Talk in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Have you held a peaceful demonstration by holding a placard or won a shot communicating about injustices? Is it a speech about rights? Are they for women, children, youths, people with disabilities, elderly, environmental or lands? Do you know you're a human rights defender? Are you threatened, harassed, intimidated, illegally arrested, detained, tortured or imprisoned as a result of defending rights? If you have experienced any of the forementioned, please reach out to National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders Uganda for assistance on their toll-free number 0800 100 250 or visit their offices located in Ntinda, Kampala, Semawata Road. Defending rights is constitutional. Please don't shy away.
Edachika mwenda zeza kaita kusawe mu eyokumachamba niliza ku program The Mighty Drive amanyanze Edgar Mathew Karuhanga nga tuntuse kunako lwero olo 17 omwezi ogwokusatu omwaka 2021 yes bingi ebibadde bigenda maaso mu ggwanga Uganda era bingi betuli kuleetedde okusoosotulira tunyumemu ku mboozi tulabe engeri gye tunaakulaakulanyamu eggwanga lyaffe okwekulaakulanya ng'abantu n'okukulaakulanya abatwetoolodde. Leo tulina omwami bamuyita Kamukama David Counsel Kamukama David ono musajja munnamateeka ali ku NRM Legal Wing era y'omu ku ba partners aba Byamugisha Gabriel and Company Advocates. Tugenda kubeera naye wano nga twogeramu naye yasimbako ku kadi ya NRM naye akalulu ko baali bakamukubye agenda tunyonyola mu kyekyamu akalulu lwaki NRM tekyali nganzi nga bwe yali wadde yawangula akalulu kano byonna agenda kuba bitunyonyola wano mu program The Mighty Drive. Kano just kabuzo kagenda wo gwandaba olunaku olwaleero akasente ko kwewekolera okalyako ddi family ye kanyumirwako ddi omanyi bantu bangi tukola sente zino ensimbi zino tuzikola nnyo oluusi ne zitumenya oluusi ne tuzituyanira oluusi yes ne tusanyukamu olulala sente ye ogimanya engeri yeekolebwamu ebeera ya mitawaana oluusi ebeera ya ssanyu naye gy'okozeeyo yeeba eyiyo ogiryako ddi omanyi ndowooza olunaku lw'eggulo okoose eggulo anyina mukwano gwange emyaka gye gimu kumpi n'egyange gino omuvubuka abadde yakamala university awo alinze graduation yokka yagenze ndowooza n'afunamu ekizimbe kyamugwiridde wali ekya Fido Dido teyasobodde kuwonawo bambi yafiiridde mu kano akabenje kennyini omwana muto abadde tali mulwadde abadde talina nsonga yonna ebyo byonna omanyi kati waba afudde ebintu byonna bitandika obbirowoozaako n'ogamba naye obulamu buno tubukolera ki King Solomon Ecclesiastes yagamba mbuno life is like trying to chase the wind so zofunyeko bambi zirieko nga gwe omuntu onyumira obulamu bwe kuba tomanyi ddi lwonaaleka ensi eno kuba Mukama ye ekyo yakitukweka okufa yakutukweka tomanya ddi lwonaafa kibanga kyekango kyobula tekimanyirikika paka ssaawa zino bantu bangi bafudde naye teri muntu yali amanyidde kufa. Eno program The Mighty Drive tubeerawo okukulaakulanya eggwanga n'okwogera n'abantu abanaazimba eggwanga nga batuwa ku magezi engeri gye tuba tulitambuzaamu. Ati ku dakiika 11 ezakayita ku ssaawa muzikirize nyingireko mu mawulire agabadde gatambula oba gabadde gabungeesebwa mu ggwanga Uganda bingi ebigenda mu maaso. Twalaba bannakibiina kya NUP omuli omwami Kyagulanyi ne banne ba Joel Ssenyonyi ne ba MPs abamu bakulemberamu okwekalakaasa kwe bayita okwemirembe peaceful demonstration. Kino ojjukira kibaweebwa ssemateeka wa eggwanga lino Uganda abakkiriza okuba nga basobola okwekalakaasa kasita banga bakikola mu mirembe. Kati olunaku ndooza lwali lwa Monday yes olunaku lwali lwa balaza abavubuka ba NUP nga bakulembeddwa mu chairman wabwe wa principal wabwe Robert Kyagulanyi Sentamu bavaayo ne balaga obutali bumativu bwabwe eri kibba abantu ekiwamba abantu n'okutta kw'abantu okubadde kugenda maaso mu ggwanga lino. Bayimirira wali ku Kampala Road ne batandika nga basitudde ebipande biriko abantu abaali babuliziddwawo abantu abali mu makomera. Yes ne bavaayo ne basooka bagamba mbuno baagala abantu ba government ebaddiza abantu bwabwe we need our people. Bangi bayogera bintu bingi nga balaga obutali mu mativu bwabwe naye era nga omanyi poliisi ya Uganda yavaayo n'okebambaliramu ne balemesa abamu baabo babasibye Kyagulanyi ye bamuvuga paka mu maka ge eri Magere ne bamusibira eyo abamu ku ba MPs babatwala ku CPS bingi akavuyo kaali awo nno mu Kampala wakati kati okuva olwo tulabye ng'emmotoka nnyingi ez'abannamagye oba bakuumaddembe abadde balawuna ekibuga buli woolaba olaba mukuumaddembe nga bakuta amamundu abalala bajjayo emmotoka ziri tetuzirabangako oba obumotoka babeera babuyingiza ddi eggwanga. Kyekibuuzo kyakutujja kibuuza lumu bano bannamagye batubulye kwaliwo ebintu ebimu tubiraba mu times weziti oba mu biseera webiti nga tulaba abantu bavuddeyo n'emigemera wala bavuddeyo n'amamotoka gonna gali tinted gajjudde ebibomboola byonna ebyo bye byaliwo ndooza ku lunaku lwa Mandolo ng'omwami Kyagulanyi Sentamu alaga obutali bumativu bwe naye ndooza tikinayo ne kyakola naye nga kyaspreadingako mu bitundu ebirala twalaba esaidi z'Eiganga eyo East Jinja wali abaali beekalakasa naye era baali bamuswabu omuzungu kyayita a handful tebaali bangi nnyo okubanga abaali batiisa naye nga NUP bavaayo neerangirira nti bagenda kutandika okubeera n'okwekalakaasa okw'emirembe. Naye politics wa Uganda oba omumanyi, there are some things that cannot really work in such a dispensation. Mu biseera weebiti waliwo amagezi olumu goba peaceful demonstration mu Uganda tugirabye nga yo ebadde tekoze for the past I think 20 years or so. Buli agezezaako abadde tabeera successful in this endeavor. Katusubire Kyagulanyi anabeera successful mu byayogera. Jjuka yawa omwami Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yamuwa omwaka gumu okubanga amaliriza ng'amujje ku ntebe eno. Yagamba omwaka guno ogwa 2021 tagumalaako nga ye president w'eggwanga lino. Katulabe bangi babyogedde ndoza retired Kano 2011 mu October protest yayogera naye kino tekyasoboka. Omwami ye president Museveni ye yabagamba mbuno bannayuganda be bamuwa mandate. Era bannayi president Museveni yali ayogera kantandike n'oko yali ayogera mu State of the Nation address ye gye yakola ndoza lwalina ku Lwamukaaga n'agamba mbuno baamubba akalulu mbu NUP asinga okubba akalulu ate tasobola kwogerako zino nsonga kubanga zaali zikyali mu kkooti. Yagamba ejjuka ensonga ziba zikyali mu kkooti ebeera sub judice oba tokkirizibwa kuzoogerako. Kati omwami Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yavaayo n'agamba NUP yasinga okubba akalulu, ye talina kalulu konna keyabba. Naye n'agamba babasonye abasinga kasita baneetonda ne bavaayo ne bagamba beetonze babasonyiwe bajja kuba nga babasonyiwa. Wetugendako mu mawulire amalala naye nga tukyayogera ku mwami President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yavaayo n'awa Daily Monitor noza yali warning oba yabagamba mbu agenda kubanga abasuulinga kasita bataaveeyo ne beetondera eggwanga okubungesa amawulire agataali matuufu mbuno ye ne abamwetolodde bafuna COVID vaccine. Yagamba kino kyali kifu nnyo era Daily Monitor ye yagiyita na evil newspaper. Yes, yagiyita evil newspaper n'agamba bano bennyini bano abami ba Daily Monitor batambuza amawulire agatali matuufu nga balimba eggwanga nti no president yafuna dda vaccine. N'agamba ye tannabafuna vaccine yonna asoose n'alindako ba frontline workers bafune vaccine eno dozi yabo alyoke naye tomanya kuba agamba bano ba frontline workers be baliwa mwe muli ba health workers ba doctors abo we batyo abannababulamu abo kubanga be bali highly at risk of getting COVID-19. Era mu State of the Nation address yennyini yagamba mbuno ekirwadde kya COVID-19 kibadde kikendedde nnyo mu ggwanga Uganda. N'agamba mbuno mu ggwanga lyonna mulimu abalwadde ba COVID-19 bali 24 people are the only people that are sick and are in the health facilities suffering with the COVID-19. So kyecho yagamba mu COVID-19 yagudde nnyo era neyebaza bannayuganda okubanga batutte amagezi ag'okwambala masiki n'okwewala buno obulwadde obwajja bukitabaala abantu buno bo baaba buli omu abuwuliddemu bwa COVID-19. Nga tukyali ku COVID-19 vaccination ye ekyagenda mu maaso nagambye batandise ne bano ba frontline workers omuli babulamu mulimu bannamawulire abamu omanyi abo abali at high risk of getting COVID-19 bennyini abo be batandika nabo. Program ekyali the Mighty Drive tuli mu bifo by'emutundu eno we tuli live from we tuli mu kuweerereza era bannamutundu mwegatte ku Facebook page eri the Alternative Uganda ku Facebook ne ku YouTube otusangako kasita tubanga tumaze show ebeerayo musawa ng'emu kitundu babbiri omwami Mukose Arnold Anthony making sure ntino show agibatereddeyo kati mu aba YouTubers abantu abasinga YouTube nene ekola nnyo ensimbi abantu bakoze nnyo ensimbi ku YouTube okwatezaawe zigira mu $1 ne pounds kati awo abana YouTube naffe gye tuli eyo aba the Alternative Uganda gendo loginge ku YouTube yaffe ojja kuba ofuna videos zino nga oboze taga program ekyali the Mighty Drive mbajjukiza ng'ennaku z'omwezi 26 wetwogerera ndooza tubuzayo ennaku teziringa 89 yes katuziwalya ku countdown tujja bali kyayo ka countdown ndooza nga tu counting down the day still the book launch ya Justice retired George Wilson Kanyehamba yagenda launching akatabo ka kasatu mukamu tugenda kubeera ku Imperial Royal awo nga tuka launching ennaku z'omwezi 26 omwezi guno gwennyini omwaka 2020 tickets za $20 kugirako akatabo nekyonaalya nekyonanywa wona tuula jjukira pano eriko abantu bangi guest speaker ye PLO Lumumba from Kenya tulina chief guest Jacob Olanya ono yesimbye kuba speaker of parliament agenda kubwesimbawo ko naye sawa zino deputy speaker of parliament tulina Dr. Amama Mbabazi tuna Dr. Miriam Matembe, tuna Dr. Nina Zedriga, tuna abantu bangi abali ku panel era making sure nga wefunia ticket yo nga tezinagwayo. Remember we giving out few tickets because of the COVID-19. Si bantu bangi abagenda okuba nga bali kweno event. So but first come betugenda okusooka okukola kabasooka okujja betugenda okusooka okukola kojuke aba National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders nabo bakujjukiza nti oli mulwanyizi wa ddembe. Yes, oba oli mulwanyizi wa ddembe genda obeyunire oba ofunye obuzibu bwonna basobole okubanga bakuyamba. Kino kye kitongole ekirwanirira abalwanizi ab'eddembe. Oli mukyalo oli eyo mukyalo kasitoba nga olina ebintu byokola obikola mu mirembe ng'olwanirira eddembe mu mirembe by then obera entitled okufuna benefits za National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders. Eno program echali the mighty drive bampita Edgar Mathew Karuhanga okubanga nkuweereza ndoza nga maliriza aba NUP abadde basibibwa eyo side z'ekitalya era bachali remanded. Koti yabaganye okuva mu court martial era bakyali mu court martial. Jukira amateeka gagamba nti no kasitaba kusanga n'ekintu kyonna ekikwatagana ku bamaje oba oli subject to the military court martial. Jukira bagamba bana abaami 34 abaliyo bonna babasanga balina amasasa 4. They had 4 bullets. So mwe ensonga yennyini we bayimirira ne bagamba kati bano bagenda kuba tried in the general court martial. Paka sawa zino bakyali mu court martial bakyabona oba kubona abono oba bakiyita batya mu Luganda. You're still under these cases of having bullets okubeera n'amasasi binijika amasasi gaba bakuuma ddembe bukapa military. So bali under military court martial eya Andrew Guti bakyali remanded bamazeyo n'akaseera kangi ndowooza okuva ennaku z'omwezi 11 February. Yes, of January up to now ekyo giringa myezi 2 kitundu bakyali bakyali mu nkomyo bakyali mu trials zino. Mulimu ba Ali Bukenya ono ye Nubian ni mukwano wa Kyagulanyi, mulimu Sadanyi Magiki ono ye producer wa Kyagulanyi, mulimu Eddie Mutwe ono ye personal bodyguard wa Kyagulanyi, mulimu Bobby Young, mulimu abannakibiina bangi aba NUP bakyali mu bino mu court martial bakyakayana na misango gino. Yes, ndoza waliwo ne President Museveni kyayogera kaawe ekyokubanga baali baagala tebagala kumukkiriza kusoyaringa n'agamba banna agenda kulayira. Ate mumanyi President Museveni wava n'ayogera ku bintu bino oluusi musajja kasita atuuka ku bintu ebyo eby'entebe abeera so serious. Yagambye we shall swear. The swearing in ceremony will not be interrupted by anyone. The security operatives will crush each and everyone who comes out, yes, to try and sabotage the swearing in ceremony of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Agogega mu kumawulire agatambula mu ggwanga Uganda. Muzikirize ndyoke ngendeko mukuumula kwe tunakomawo ndoza Mukama atuyambe tunabeera ne Counsel Kamukama David ono nagambye omusajja ali ku bannamateeka ba NRM Legal Wing ate y'omu ku ba partners aba Byamugisha Gabriel and company advocates. Amanyanze Edgar Mathew Karuhanga naye nkyakujjukiza nti bannange sente yo joina jiliye kongo chali mulamu. Life is too short. You never know what tomorrow has to hold for you. Ate sikugamba ato jiliye kivubi weerabire naye nga kyentegeeza mbuno sometimes you reflect on the work you've done no salawo gambo manyi lwaki siryako kanyama kano lwaki sigendako out lwaki omwana wange simuguli akagato kalungi. Because at the end of the day King Solomon yakugamba mbuno going after life is like trying to chase the wind. Okunoonya ebyobulamu bino ebyobugagana biki kiringa kugoba mpewo tosobola kugikwata ne oba ofotya. To some extent you deserve to eat, to enjoy your life as long as you're still alive. Make your family happy, go out, smile more, eat more, and you never know what God can do for you. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. This is The Mighty Drive. Let's go for a short commercial break. We shall be right back.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Digital. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Digital. Digital, the way to go.
Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book. The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26th, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Real Hotel. The ticket comes with a book. All this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 9000 76 or 0783 04 7785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Digital in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Have you held a peaceful demonstration by holding a placard or won a shot communicating about injustices? Is it a speech about rights? Are they for women, children, youths, people with disabilities, elderly, environmental or lands? Do you know you're a human rights defender? Are you threatened, harassed, intimidated, illegally arrested, detained, tortured or imprisoned as a result of defending rights? If you have experienced any of the aforementioned, please reach out to National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders Uganda for assistance on their toll-free number 0800 100 250 or visit their offices located in Ntinda, Kampala, Semawata Road. Defending rights is constitutional. Please don't shy away. Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book. The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26th, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Real Hotel. The ticket comes with a book. All this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 9000 76 or 0783 04 7785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Digital in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Malonji banafa batukereddeko ku mpewo zaffe za the Alternative Digital. Farida Bikobere is my name and you watching the Mighty Drive. Program yengazeeberayo everyday Monday to Friday sawa emu paka sawa sato. Page yaffe the Alternative Uganda on Facebook with us streaming live. Mukwano gendayo ate wansi mu live video yaffe mu comment section tekamu ekibuuzo kyo tugenda kubanga tukiddamu bulungi. We have Counsel Kamukama David in the studios yatuseeko dda so sigenda barisaayo, but before I welcome the guest mbadde wano nga mpuliriza news updates nga omwami Edgar Mathew Karuhanga atugamba nti waba ofunye akasente kalye ni akasenteko naye nagamba naye temulyanga ate nga bavubi zonna z'ofunye nozimala agamba lyako savingako investinga bwe kirina okubeera. So bamikwano era twagala okungubagira wamu n'abo abafiiribwa abantu baabwe ababadde mu lunch hour wali ku kizimbe kya Fidodido nga bali mu kusaba bamikwano. We condole with you. Karuhanga, we condole with you and your family. Tusaba Mukama yagaba ate era yajja wate wa Mukama wetuva ate era gye tudda abasiraamu togamba inalirahi wa inalirehi rajiuna. Tedi Tenjo mukwano, take heart, be strong. Embeera sinyangu, but I thank God into your mom is very strong, and she was telling us yesterday, you know what, it is okay not to be okay. It is okay, yeah, it is one statement I marked from her. It is okay not to be okay. I can imagine her pain of losing a daughter at 23 years in Gatabada and graduating. Yeah, so tubasaba bamikwano mugume nesala zaffe ziri eri mwene Mukama Katonda nga bwe tumusaba ayongere ate okubagumya naye nga olunaku lwo lwakusatu enaku z'omwezi 17 tubala bubazi kati ennaku ezibulayo okugenda ku book launch. We have a book launch. There is a book launch at Imperial Royal Hotel on the 26th of this month. It is the next Friday. Time is 2 p.m. Retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba awandiise akatabo akalala k'omulundi ogwasatu mu ogumu. 31 books. And the title is The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and the Government. Are you a lawyer? Do you admire lawyers? Do you want to know anything about law? This is the book. It is the right book to read. So to Bagamba, tickets are going for 200,000 and nakuzigwayo. The ticket comes with a book. Now it is inclusive of where you're going to sit as you dine with these big personalities that we have. We have Pierre Olmomba in the country. He's going to grace the event. Abiri Munya. So Abiri Munya, we're going to picking up airport. Pierre Olmomba from Kenya. He's a Kenyan jurist. He's a very good controversial lawyer. You would want to listen to him.
And he's a good speaker.
Yeah, and he is a good speaker. So Naya Agenda Kubanga, he's our guest speaker. Our guest of honor is Right Honorable, the Deputy Speaker, Jacob Olanya. And we have a panel of 5 people. Big people, inclusive of Right Honorable Mama Mbabas, Dr. Amelia Matembe, Counsel Nicholas Opio, President Mao of DP. We have Dr. Lina Zedriga of NOP. We have Bernard Mona from Ghana, Naya Yingiramu, Uganda on the 24th, around 2 tujja kwanga ate tumunonya naye awo ku airport nga tumujja nga tumuleta. So we have a panel of young, we have mixed young and old, experienced and not experienced. So tubasaba bamikwano nze nkubiriza abavubuka nange temwetanidde nnyo ogula tickets zino ate nga tuteekawo, we provide a platform for you to kubeera nga mwenda lujinga ne bana abantu mubabuuze those burning questions bye muba mulina nate bwe tutubagwa space ate ne mutajja tubeera heartbroken ogamba nanga abavubuka ffe tukoze kye tulina okukola, what have you done? So bannange mwanguweeko tickets ziggwawo. Karuhanga wasuze otya?
Nasuze bulungi. Wasuze otya Farida?
Nasuzeeyo Mukama alhamdulillah kyankumya mpadde obulamu.
Tutandike program at the Mighty Drive nabagambe tulina Counsel Kamukama David ono y'omu ku partner aba Byamugisha Gabriel and Company Advocates. Era tuli wano ku ssomero lye Kampala Preparatory School wano emutunde we tumusanze agenda kuba tunnyonnyolamu
abaana abato myaka 10 abaana bazi okusedda, but they are very smart in their uniforms. Naye ng'omuntu omukulu
akyebase Mighty Drive bino ebintu byeyogerako bannange tuzuukuke kubanga we tukola bino ebintu ne tubigambe ebigambo naye nga nawe tutaddemu ifotyo kiba tekina ngeri gye kikuyamba naffe gye tutuyambamu. Ne katandikewo ne Counsel Kamukama. Counsel, you're welcome to the Mighty Drive.
Thank you, friends Karuhanga and Farida.
Okay. Counsel kyasanyu nnyo kubanga tukulina twagala soko otunnyonnyole Counsel yani by the way nga tetunayingira mu bya Counsel so Counsel naye akatabana ketaaga n'akafunako copy.
I carried his copy. I am very positive he's going to get the ticket.
I have great admiration for retired Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. His time at the bench, his time as a legal practitioner, he's an amazing person, and he has done a lot in developing our constitutional law. So attending such an occasion is one way of honoring him. And then the personalities present. Pierre Lumumba, whom I take to be my role model, the gentleman who speaks and I feel moved and motivated. Honestly, it's a must attend.
Are there some lessons you've learned from retired Justice Judge Wilson Kanyihamba before we delve into you?
Our discussion.
Justice Wilson Kanyihamba, the beauty about him is that he has never been scared of speaking out his mind.
The truth.
He speaks the truth and speaks out his mind without fear of favor, provided it is good and it's true.
And it's true.
He has stood out to defend the rule of law, and he is one of those people who have nurtured our constitutionalism and is still one of the guardians. Every day he is interested to see how it goes forward. Scholars, legal practitioners, judges, they have seen his enormous contribution. So he is a great gentleman.
All right, let's delve into Mr. Kamukama David. Who is Kamukama David? Omuntu ya alimukula bumuvubuka laba mighty drive encha ya lero. Ayagala kumanya omwami Counsel Kamukama David yani. Tuwe ku lugero lwa Kamukama David.
Kamukama David is a humble man, but who prides in hard work. Okay. I come from a humble background, last born of 7, and I would say I'm self-made, and I thank God for the far I've moved. Well, my vocation, I'm a lawyer, but then I believe that the legal practice should only be one of the businesses that one can carry out. That's the trade that I studied. But then when you go into other businesses,
It shouldn't be someone's only source of income.
It shouldn't be. Every time you get a chance to earn an additional penny, please go for it. Please go for it.
Why become a lawyer in all careers? Why did you become a lawyer?
I developed my interest of becoming a lawyer when I was in primary 3. That's when my big brother, Byamugisha, graduated as a lawyer. And I grew up looking up to him. And actually, as a kid, I inquired what was the specialty, what they have to study to be a lawyer. They told me history and literature. And I loved those subjects that I never, no one could fit in social studies in primary. Literature became my passion and even defeated the whole country in literature. Actually, in
Which year was that?
2001, that's when I finished my A-level. 2002, I was among the top 3 at A-level results. So it's been my... I moved for it and I had to get it.
Kati abakulidde mu byalo nga tetulina betubuuzaako nange nakola ntya okubeera nga kino kyenjagala, but it is always good omuzadde okubeera nga osupporting omwana bw'aba agambye omanyi taata nze njagala kubeera kino n'omuyambako n'ogamba okay kino ky'olina okukola kino ky'olina okukola. Counsel, olwaleero tugenda kuba twogera amateeka twogera politics because nayo eyo gwaayo. We will be talking politics, talking law, the violence that is in here, and then the election violence. Tugenda kubanga ate tubyogerako. The good thing we have a lawyer. Wonna we tukuba agenda buli we tugenda aba agwawo bulungi nnyo. Twakulabako nga ogenda mu primaries wetabye mu for Sheemah municipality.
Yes.
Ne bakukuba ne bakumeka. What haven't you achieved as a lawyer that forced you to go in for politics?
You see, when you take an alternative route, it does not mean you have failed where you are. It means you feel you can do something else. You can serve your people better. I believe that I can use my voice and mind to talk for the many. I can be good at legislating because I will be doing what I studied. So that was one of my motivations, and I've been there for the public. I have a charity called Counsel Kamukama Foundation. It has equipped people with vocational skills, and so far more than 1,200 people, they have acquired skills, saloon, tailoring, shoemaking, free of charge, courtesy of Counsel Kamukama Foundation, for which I'm the sole financier. So I believe I can serve the public more and better.
Why do you think you really fell out in this particular primaries? Why you're going against Dixon Katishumba, right?
Yes. You see, we are getting unfortunate trends in our politics. We have gone to commercialization of politics.
Okay, yeah, that's
you see,
something that is
some of us they got politics because we believe we have a court serve, we have willingness, we have touch with the ordinary person, and we have one or two things to add up. And then going to parliament, when I'm a lawyer, I'm going to do what I studied, that is to legislate. But then, unfortunately, we have moved beyond the notion of service. We have gone into vote purchase. We have gone into, so by the way, sometimes it tricks me. If you are going to invest about 2 billion shillings or more to go and become member of parliament, then where are you getting the funding? Why must you spend more than what you're going to get as member of parliament? What are you dying for? Why should elections become a matter of life and death?
But who commercialized politics in the first place, Mr. Kamukama?
I don't want to point blame.
No, we cannot point out in the videos. But is it the NRM cadres who have brought this commercialization in politics?
You see, it could be 10 NRM members and 2 opposition members. At the end of it, it is Ugandans. It's Ugandans. Actually, still, I don't blame members of parliament alone or contestants alone. You reach in the village, you talk to someone is holding his throat. He's reminding you that before you talk to him, you must, there is a drink or something to eat. So, where do you, actually, there's a new trend now on social media called Twashwa Twanywa. Twashwa Twanywa, it came from Isinjiro. So, the Bachika would wait for someone. When he comes, they ask for what to drink. When he leaves, another one comes. They say, he gives them money, say, we are going to drink again. That is Twashwa Twanywa. So now it's a popular trend.
But to what extent do you think the Legislative Assembly itself has brought about commercialization in politics? Let's talk about the salaries these legislators get. Everybody is looking at it as a job. They are no longer looking at it as a service as it used to be. Mr. Kamukama.
That's where we lose it actually. The first bill in Parliament goes into how to determine the movements of members of Parliament, which is unfortunate. I mean, if you are going there to serve the people, think about the rest first and think about yourself last. Julius Caesar, on the 8th of March, the day he was killed, someone came, a poet, I think Archimedes, he came to him telling him that what I have concerns you most. Julius Caesar replied to him that what concerns me most must be dealt with last. For what concerns Rome first is what is my priority.
Yes.
So let's interest ourselves in what interests the people of Uganda than what interests ourselves. Then that would be service above self, would be servant leaders rather than going there to be plunderers.
Do we still have those servant leaders in this country?
Unfortunately, it's a tricky one, but we hope that the tree that produced some is not yet dry. A few of us are still there, and we believe that that time will be reached.
One would wonder, does it need for someone to stand out for a political office to serve the people?
No, not at all, not at all. Some
because
of us
as a
started.
lawyer, you could also offer pro bono to people of Sheemah, and maybe you get in touch with the area MP other than standing for a political office.
Actually, for me, I started serving the people of Sheemah long before I thought of politics. Because the Kamukama Foundation has operated for close now to 2 years.
2 years now.
And it is on the ground. Many people now, they are owning their own saloons. People are now making shoes. People they are now doing tailoring in Karuhanga and across Sheemah. I mean, when I go there, I see people who are earning through my initiative, and I'm happy. You don't have to wait to get power. Actually, before you get power, you must be ready to utilize power. That is, you are serving people. Yes, you are serving people, and you believe you can do something more to make the lives of people better.
What was that key reason that forced you to go and stand for Sheemah Party as an MP?
Again, it goes to my ambition. I was still in primary when I saw people in parliament legislating. The court of registration at that time, the members of parliament at that time, you know, it would make you feel that it's what you want to do. Those days, there were Pakabros, then the Right Amam Babas, and then the Regan Okumus, Agre Aori. There are quite a number of people. They would be on the floor of parliament, and you feel this is where I should go. I can also add a token. See, God gave me a good voice. He gave me good brains. Why don't the people of Uganda benefit when I'm on the floor of parliament? Then later, as I have grown up, I'm still saddened that the quality of members of parliament is still wanting. Unfortunately, as we go forward as a country, then the court of members of parliament, is getting the downtrend. This time, the rich are taking it vis-a-vis the qualified to do it. And it's unfortunate, but we cannot give up. I'm a student of history. In 1840s, Russia, the Nicholas of Russia, told Britain that, you know, Turkey is a sick man of Europe. Let us distribute the Ottoman amongst ourselves. The king of Britain, the Prime Minister of Britain, said, you know what? Why it could be a sick man? It's not yet ready to be buried. Instead, we can give it medicine, and it is resuscitated. So still, we have not lost parliament. We believe that all of us, we should keep interested, especially the young blood. Keep interested. The future is ours.
But the young blood have been barred from politics. Many are now being abducted, and you people, okay, not you people, but the government is showing a precedent that entering politics when you're not an NRM cadre, it is another, tussle or a hill you have to climb.
Well, on this, I may not be a government spokesperson as to how these things are being done, but I have a mindset that there is no policy that whoever is in opposition should be abducted. NUP was voted by over 3 million. We don't have prisons to accommodate over 3 million people. To me, I believe that people who are in prison, who have been arrested, they have 1 or 2 cases to answer for themselves. Let's not make it a political move. Let's take it to personal responsibility. Actually, criminal law is a personal responsibility.
But as a lawyer, you know, when somebody is arrested, you have a legal mandate to take them to court. These people have not been tried in court. Some have been, detained after 48 hours. Many are not even seen anymore.
Now, I get you there. We have criminal elements within the forces. People have impunity. People feel can do bad things. But unfortunately, they end up putting it on our president. The president, Uganda has institutions. And these institutions, they have personal responsibility. Actually, under the leadership code right now, if a police officer refuses to take a particular action, you can sue him personally. So some of these ills, we may not necessarily take it against the party. Personally, I have had clients who have been kept in cells for more than the constitutional allowed time. We have had fights, me and them, and eventually I've not used the political option. I've used the legal option to get them out. So to me, I think we keep engaging politically. So legally, let's keep engaging legally, and at the end of it, we'll achieve it.
But the president came out earlier on and said that he was the one who deployed these commandos and who were making people disappear. He admitted himself.
You see, we must agree that the events following the arrest of Bikobere when he was in Eastern, those events were never simple. I believe even you yourselves, you could not easily drive this vehicle on the streets of Kampala. What had started as a peaceful demonstration turned to a violent demonstration punctuated by robbery and assaults unnecessary. I saw a police officer being clobbered with a hammer. Those are frontliners in the line of duty during riots. Now, once a riot takes that direction, now we have an era of cameras. If they start seeing you on camera that you're responsible for ABCD, they come and pick you. Now, don't call in the political cover. No, answer for your own ills, and then eventually the law will absolve you if you stand on the right path.
Mr. Kamukama, one would assert that in the people who were, let's say, shot, there wasn't any rioter. Most of these people were individuals, young children, females, people at their job or places of work, Mr. Kamukama.
You see, that is too unfortunate also. And if I recall, my president vehemently attacked the errant officers who took it out of action and started maiming and killing people who were not in the fight. But at the end of it, by the way, this is a very sad reminder that war does not segregate. No one should advocate for violence. Violence will take what Muganda call narumanya nesarumanya. You see, no one is safe in a situation of violence. No one is safe in a situation of lawlessness. Even the relatives of police officers can die in that situation. Relatives of politicians can die. I recall there was a girl who was shot, who died, who was serving tea, a girl from Churhura. I recall a gentleman, a scorer from Sheemah, who was shot. He had gone to repair, I think, his phone. He had parked near Pioneer Mall. As he was getting out of the building, he was caught by a bullet. Those are the unfortunate, sad situations that should tell everyone that please, when there is violence, it is indiscriminate. Let's try to avoid violence. The law is clear about transition. Transition is clear. If you want to change government, go for an election. But once you start running people, that you see, Tuja Kuraira, those other things, you are trying to use an unconstitutional order not envisaged by the Constitution. And then they must use all means to quash an unconstitutional order of attempting to bring up a change in government.
Doesn't the law talk of going for an election that is free and fair? It just states an election.
A free and fair election has been, we have seen law jurists trying to define a free and fair election, but they never came up with an absolute definition
of a free and fair
election. We saw Trump, an incumbent president in USA, crying that the election was not free and fair, that it was rigged. We know America to be the icon of the world when it comes to democracy.
The same way
it has tried as
is saying he was rigged.
It has tried as much as possible, by the way, to export its version of democracy world over. But now, when you see the incumbent crying of rigging, it means the trends have changed now. So, even in Uganda is nascent democracy. We got independence in 1962. America got independence in 1776. Yes. Now, honestly,
have a democracy for over 350 years.
But still, nevertheless, they are still having issues.
But Mr. Kamukama, I would like to go back to the point of the unrest that were there on the 18th and 19th. There are families who lost loved ones. As you've said, people were not even rioting or anything, but they have not got justice as yet. You as a lawyer, you know that these particular individuals, these families are crying out for justice. There is no security operative who was arraigned there to show that he's the one who shot these particular families. What do you think these families are thinking at the back of their minds? Aren't you the ones instigating this violence?
No, to me, I believe that we have several forums of pro bono and Uganda Law Society. We have several forums we have several organizations, some of them NGOs that are offering free voluntary legal services. But beyond that, the office of public prosecutor is open to all and used by all. You see, yesterday I saw the spokesperson of judiciary showing how they are constrained. They are underfunded. Some cases have gone to backlog.
Yeah, there's a
So-
backlog in the judicial system.
Some of the things, by the way, is that you may find people have been arrested, but up to now, maybe they appeared and without our knowledge, because this Uganda is a little bit big. We are not sure that they will appear in this court and the other court.
No. From such an incident, a big number of people who died were close to 50. And
Yes.
that was the public number, but Mulago has over 100 people. That is what the report
Yes.
that they brought out. So this is something serious. You cannot just be.
I know it's something very serious.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the president was unequivocal in making his move that everyone who did what is wrong will be brought to book, and he will reach out to families for compensation.
Kamukama, we've had the president make a lot of empty
Yes.
promises. That is something that we can really, I can speak on without fear or favor. He has made a lot of, empty promises that he has not fulfilled.
I would not use your word empty, but I would use the
I'll
word
use it.
unfulfilled. I would use the word unfulfilled. You see, I read a book called The Prince by Machiavelli.
Yes.
That when you are doing sweet things, do them in small bits so that the flavor lasts for long. The bad ones are the ones to be done in lump sum, so that people will never forget them. So some political performances, some of them may have political connotations sometimes, by the way. But I would not, you see, being a president, I've seen a father of the family failing to leave promises of one day to his family. And that is the smallest unit in society. But if you are going to make promises for the entire country, and they have fruition, immediate fruition, you must be a magician. I've seen, if you can see Obama, who became as a beacon of hope, he left with unfulfilled promises. That shows you what it is to be president of the country. One day, actually, as a president of the country, you make decisions in the evening, you would not have made any solution. Just to give you one day.
Okay, at 56 minutes past the top of the hour, we're just remaining with 4 minutes to 8 a.m. now. I think we're going to go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about unconstitutionalism, this public court, the public, demonstrations, peaceful demonstrations by the National Unity Platform, and a lot of things. We're still with Counsel Kamukama David. He's an NRM cadre, and he's also a partner of Byamugisha Gabriel and company advocates. The program is The Mighty Drive. Let's go for a short commercial break. When we come back, it's still me, Farida, and Counsel Kamukama. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book. The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Real Hotel. The ticket comes with a book, all this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 9000 76 or 0783 04 7785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Digitalk in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba.
The world is at a critical moment of providing innovative alternatives as a means to create change.
As such, we have created a not-for-profit alternative mobile digital platform as a way to promote space for freedom of speech and expression to the unheard voices.
We know you believe in the cause and you can further it more by contributing to its sustainability in forms of internet data, fuel, and any other support you deem relevant.
Please support us with your contribution to Equity Bank account number 103-5201-607252 under the name Alternative Digital, or our mobile money numbers 0702 900076 or 0783 04 7785. Alternative Digital, real issues, real talk.
Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book, The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26th, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Real Hotel. The ticket comes with a book, all this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 9000 76 or 0783 04 7785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Digitalk in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
It's always real issues, real talk. Today we are talking politics, twogera mateeka, twogera obuvuyo obubadde mu kulonda. Munnange bintu bingi nnyo segwe atanatwegatako. The page is The Alternative Uganda on Facebook. We are live yangu hapo mbilombilo. Like the page and follow us once mu comment section mu live video yaffe. Tekamu ekibuuzo kyo. Comment yonna yonna ngenda kubanga ate mbisoma. Counsel Kamukama David agenda kubanga ate akoddamu bulungi nnyo. We ayagala okutukubirako mu studio. Our studio line is 0789 017 145. 0789 017 145 is the studio line. So tukubirako munange naawe ate n'obuuza ekibuuzo kyoba n'owa okuwabulwako oba endowooza yo ku ebyo bye tuba tukubaganyako ebirowoozo, naye ng'ate njagala okujjukiza gwe munange omulwanyirizi w'eddembe nti aba National Coalition bagamba teweetulako oba afuna obuzibu bwonna nga wavaayo okungolwanira eddembe ly'obu. Bagamba nedda banguyire bajja kubanga ate bakuyambako. Oyagala legal support, oyagala kwebuuzako, oyagala psychological support, byonna munange bagenda kubanga ate babi offering. Agendayo ku offices zaabwe wali entinda kusema wataroda akapande ogenda kubanga ate okalaba bulungi nnyo bali kukuba kwennyini munange bakyalireko obeebuuzeeko kyonna kyoyagala okumanya. Naddala mmwe ba activist abavuddeyo abali mu peaceful demonstrations mwetaaga mugende bababuulire weetaaga ki. Okay, ogenda kukola eno activity naye munange banaakusiba abewuwo balina ekyokulya bwe tebalina gwe tuula wakosa okwonoonyeza family y'ekyokulya tunagenda kukola activity bamikwano abalwanyirizi b'eddembe. We know kidnaps zisuse mu ggwanga kubeera naye obanga ogenda vaayo ogenda kukuba okugamba bannange mutisuse bagenda kukwata bakusibe naye ng'oli munda eyo famire ye neeba eri ati bwobanga gwe sole breadwinner wa famire so munange bagamba soka ogendeyo obeebuuzeeko katono nyo bajja kubanga tebakuyamba osobola bakubira ku namba yaabwe etali yakusasulira 0800 M00 250 0800 M00 250 0800-100-250 so bakubirako aba National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders basangibwa wali Ntinda Semawata Road osobola ate munange n'okubakyalirako mu offices zaabwe ate gwe munaffe ayagala okumanya ebifa ku book launch oyagala ku attendinga oyagala kusindika muntu akukiikirire togenda beerawo osobola okukubira abali mu organizing event eyo ku 0702 9000 76 0702 kenda 7 oba 083 0783047785 gwe ayagala okumanya ku book launch etambula etya mutuula wa sawa mmeka bakubireko kweza essimu bajja kubanga ate munange bakuddamu tuli ku Mighty Drive gyokyalaba program yo enganza n'abatatulabye ku Facebook program yaffe enzijufu egenda kubeera ku YouTube amannya agasigala The Alternative Uganda. You can also follow us on Twitter. We are The Alternative Uganda. Counsel Kamukama gwe tuli naye mu studios. Counsel, omuntu yenna bw'avaayo okustandinga for any position aba naddala kuba MP, we assume you have identified problems of your constituency that maybe you have also found solutions for those would-be problems. What were the problems, or what are the problems of Sheemah that you wanted to solve?
Actually, the biggest role of parliament, people seem to take it away from what's supposed to be. The first and main cardinal role of parliament is legislation and representation. Get the ideas, take it to parliament, turn them into necessary laws, modify bad laws into right laws, sponsor bills on the floor of parliament. But most of the members of parliament, actually, after his term of office, you ask him, which bill do you sponsor on the floor of parliament? He will say none. Which fraud did you lead on the side of government opposition? So which bill did you lead on the line of government or opposition? None. So sometimes people go and promise too much during elections. That is beyond their mandate. I'm going to bring you roads, I'm going to build you schools. Which budget? No parliament has no budget.
You lobby.
Lobbying is what you should do. Say, I'm going to lobby to ensure, obviously at the moment, countrywide, our schools still are in solid state, same for Kampala. And now, when the pandemic hit, this coronavirus, it exposed us. This was the time when we were supposed to go for online studies, when it was stay-home policy. But how many people were ready? Even the radio program, I'm told some radios were stolen. The funds for radios were stolen. I'm not sure, but I'm told Auditor General has made a report. A lot of money was swindled in the process. So, some of the sad situations, some unpatriotic people, they are fighting the good move. People try to benefit from the misfortunes of the public. I read a book called The Plague by Albert Camus. This was about the plague, another character of the Second World War. The setting of the book is in Algeria. It started with the dying of rats. People thought they are rats. Now, cats ate rats, also started dying. Then, the people who were throwing away dead rats, they also caught the plague. Now, the first rats were dying, we are hearing that whites were dying. That book is an allegory. Then later the cats that were eating them were the contending countries. Then finally when people started dying, it was our own who had gone there to fight the ex-servicemen. They started seeing bodies, and even the war came now on the ground. So this pandemic exposed many people. It showed that we are not prepared as a country. But by the way, I make salutations to our president. I think world over now, we have a better success story against COVID than any other country. You are the media personalities. You know the numbers now we have of only the whole country. I think that's a success story.
But are people just there ravaging with COVID-19 without even coming to health centers?
Then if they are getting them, then they are not dying of them. Because it's a contagious disease. If they are getting them and they are not coming to the centers, then they have been able to prepare themselves to fight it.
But there are very many people who didn't even come earlier on and were dying from their homes.
You see, actually, still, I insist that the disease that is killing more Ugandans is still malaria, not COVID. Actually, I think world over. But people fear epidemics and pandemics. But I thank our country in the effort. For what we don't know, we should not assume facts. But for what we know, we are happy with the developments.
So do you also agree with these people that say for someone to be an MP, so that they are able to legislate on matters on the floor of parliament, they should be lawyers or should go and take a law course, maybe at LODC, maybe a diploma?
That would be gagging up the office of member of parliament.
Because
but I suggest
lawyer we have that has stood for the political officer, like, okay, I studied law, so I know I will legislate. So
you see, being a lawyer is an advantage. But my suggestion is that every member of parliament who does not have legal background should be given introduction. For example, they can be a 2-month course. Let me be grounded. You see, unfortunately, if it was my say, I would advocate for increasing qualifications. For being member of parliament, yes. From senior 6 to being a graduate. You see, it's not about employment that everyone should go there. Someone was making a very unfair statement that money is not sort that every family should have. It's unfortunate. So should be legislation. Legislation cannot be done by everyone. That someone, for me, finished my senior 6, even people who never finished senior 6, they have what they call equivalents. Yeah. They have added diploma in swimming, certificate in what, and then they want to bring them up, and then they make ordinary qualifications.
Why is it that the legislation of the country is given to these educated? We've seen these educated people having these bachelors, but they are still incompetent.
But my brother, yes. You see, an incompetent, an incompetent knowledgeable person is better than someone who is incompetent in what is not relevant. Yes. You see, now we are going to make laws. For you never went to school, and you think you are going to make law?
Council, this has been a debate for a while. People are even thinking about why don't we even introduce our native languages in parliament so that people can even debate in their normal languages? Because we have had educated people who have done for us nothing.
My brother, appreciate the country Uganda with more than 30-something tribes. And then we are going on the floor parliament. Someone comes jazzing Rusoga, another one comes with his Runyankore Konk, someone from Chisoro comes, then someone from Kapchora is rapping, then someone, yeah, you know, we'll have a confused house. Like when they are building the town of Babel, God confused them by, he said, let these people speak different languages and they don't cooperate. You know, they were saying they were going to build the tower to reach out to God. So God said, hey guys, let me confuse you, you don't speak the same language. When you are telling someone, give me a brick, someone will hear like, yes, you want a spade. Guys failed. That's how the house would have been if you are going to say everyone will use his own language.
Council, I'm so curious, why didn't you come as an independent? We've seen many of your cadres in the NRM that were hitting the primaries.
But came back as independent.
Actually, it was the right time. This time, I salute people who came as independents at some point because the way primaries were conducted, was actually an affront to the principles we believe in of democracy. It was not, you see, a few days to go, then they said let everyone vote.
Yes.
Opposition,
Not even a few days.
NRM.
It was the last day, and it was your president who made that.
You see,
I would like
what?
to call it a decree.
Yes, it was my president. But you see, at the end of it, it shows you how unready our Environmental Commission was. They made a compilation of failings, which was taken to the president, saying, you know, many people have been removed from registers. You see, other people have just been added in. And now, all of us are complaining. The president said, now, you guys, if there is a problem, now let me give a stopgap solution. And to me, I believe that his mind was informed by the fact that at the end of it, if you are in a opposition, you'll be voted by all of them at the end of it beyond primaries. So he said, okay, now that you cannot provide sound solutions, let me throw the people. Now, but unfortunately, now it was my brother on the ground. Someone who had his own money, he would talk to the electoral commission and say, please, let voting at this place be at 11. Delay the nearby polling stations to 11:30. So the crowds from here are moving with them this other polling station. Now, the other place, put it at midday. At the end of it, the numbers that voted actually were more than even not only the registered voters, but the national registered voters. NRM primaries, the winners had more votes than the votes that were got in the final outcome.
So you've not answered my question. Why did you come back as independent?
Personally, I saw that the race had been vulgarized already. So I was asking myself.
What did you expect, Counsel? Did you expect a bed of roses?
Not a bed of roses. Obviously, I'm not someone who shies away from taking up challenges. Yes. I can say I can take a bull by its horns. But then, you need to make good calculations. If you have heard the song of a gambler by Kendrick, the gambler, you see, you need to count your losses and then make the right decisions in time. So I said,
so you are trying to
yes, I discovered that now.
Should I assert that you had already believed that you were already beaten?
No, I don't believe that someone was already.
Had money.
Yes, now.
Still has money.
And obviously now that's another question of someone has been working in the government. Where does he get money? What was his salary? Now no, that is a topic for another day. Yeah, I don't want to go there. That's what I've been trying to avoid. But the level of monetization in politics, especially Sheemah, it was unfortunate. Someone would come to you and say, you people have a problem of water here. David, what's your say? We say, we will contribute for you. But someone say, hey, you have a problem of water. Tomorrow I'm bringing pipes. Tomorrow I'm bringing workers. For people to give them water, you'd say, let there be water. Actually,
for sake of clarity,
yes.
To our viewers, let me first tell you something small about Dickson Kateshumba. It is alleged, I'm going to use the word alleged, that Dickson Kateshumba was getting 1 billion shillings per day. It is an allegation in the URA. That is an allegation that has gone out. That is why I think he left the URA for starters. That is an allegation that is going on. This particular gentleman was getting over 1 billion shillings per day. That is an allegation. I'm not putting any truth to it, but that is an allegation. You can see, you can think about it.
As what?
It is not. There's no government.
Anyway.
There's no government.
Anyway.
But just know that is a rumor that was going on. But judging by what
the
was
money
in the election, Kateshumba had money in the Sheemah election. It was a lot of money. That was a by the way. Let's go back to Mr. Kamukama.
So how do you confront such money? You know that money would need to be confronted by more money. Personally, it was my hard earning little money. Yes. So how do I keep squandering knowing that even if I sold all that I have, I could not match the money that was being brought on the ground.
So you just
But one wonders why would one put a billion or billions of money
a simple calculation, by the way. A simple calculation will show you that after 5 years, you cannot make more than 1.5 billion.
I know, you make 1.2, I think.
Around 1.25, I think. Now, if over 5 years you are making 1.25, someone is investing 3. I mean, when you read the Bible, in the book of Mark, chapter 13, they say that when you see that the entrance of the church has changed, those are some of the symbols of the end of time. When you see that the synagogue is in a wrong footing than it's supposed to be, you know those are the beginning signs of the end of time. So when you see elections are taking that trend, I mean, we either make a reversal situation to bring sanity back into politics, or we are losing it. Our representation is going to be both representation, it will not be actual representation. And you see, when you pay people to represent them, then the time in parliament you'll be trying to make business, to replenish, trying to get back money that you spent. So service will be forgotten. And the jury is out there. So those people who invested too much to win elections, we are waiting to see what they are going to do for the people. We are waiting to see the many jobs they promised the people. We are waiting for the manufacturers they promised the people. We are waiting for the houses they promised the people, the elderly, they will build for them. We are waiting for the schools they promised the people, the hospitals. We are waiting to see how the parliament is going to do that. So, but unfortunately, people never run. It's the way you beat a kid, and after that you call a kid and give the kid meat. The kid says, "Thank you, Daddy."
But Kamukama, one would say maybe you are not on ground. People did actually know you on ground, and Kateshumba was maybe right to.
Unfortunately,
he was also not on ground, but he had money. But he was
unfortunately, if I was looking after 1,200 people, and now have a multiplier effect with their families, then I've been in activities of Sheemah, building churches. What the other day we are building a church, a house for the bishop. Personally, I give them 100 bags of cement. Many things. Reviving schools, those organizations, I've been there. Dixon, as popular as strong as he was at Ocean, he had. People didn't know him. But now, when he came in, the wave was ushered with many things. See, it was let there be and there. So now the Kamukamas who were showing policy. Actually, I follow my role model, Pierre Lumumba. He said that he had 450 town hall meetings. He had more than 5 months of conversing for elections. He had a robust manifesto of what he wanted to do for the people. But then someone came 2 weeks to go. He bought everyone and won the election. Now, I see my role model was not wrong. Actually, you can say it was my situation. So, but at the end of it, let's not lose hope. We hope. Arthur Koyethra, in his book Darkness at Noon, he talks about the relative maturity of the masses. So once the masses have grown up in their mindset, appreciated politics, appreciated their capacity, appreciated their vote is supposed to be used to bargain, as Rousseau put it during the French Revolution, one of the philosophers. People know that their vote is a bargaining tool, and that once you are given a mandate, people will use their vote to come and we say, did you do what you wanted? Did you fulfill the scorecard? If no, we are going back. If the people finally know what they have in their vote, then we hope sanity will be restored.
Kamukama, let's talk about the election. You talked about the fraudulent activities that were in your election, the NRM primaries.
Yes.
To what extent would someone really accept what came out in the national election if the primary election was that vicious, that fraudulent? How about the national election?
The answer is simple. the party elections, they don't have a solid source of funding. They don't get money from National Treasury. They don't have money for training. But when you look at the National Electoral Commission, their budget is appropriated by Parliament. It has foundations and it spreads up to the village level. Now, it's up to you to ensure that you have agents up to the ground. Because, for example, you are saying you have been rigged. If you are able to get all your declaration forms, result forms, like my brother Bobby Wade, by the way, I salute him. He put up a good show.
You call it?
A good show. When I say good show, someone coming up to take on the incumbent, and you are almost like a first timer. Actually, it was a first timer. His performance was really good. But you see, you also don't be taken away that the vote for Bobby Wine was a vote for alternative views. Instead, it was a protest vote for a few things going wrong. And which I tell my party, please put a few things right. People there was some annoyance. That vote was not a Bobby Wine vote. It was a protest vote by the people. Actually, people in the village didn't know Bobby Wine as a person to be suitable, but now it became a wave, and his vote was a protest vote. So what do I tell my party NRM? Please use microscopic lenses and look at what went wrong.
But Kamukama, how would this be free and fair? Yet we saw this particular candidate you're talking about being subjected to a lot of impunity, a lot of imprisonment, a lot of tear gas, a lot of shootings in his own car, a lot of,
see, unfortunately, Mr. Karuhanga,
yes, sir.
What you are failing to realize is that while we want power, we must know that power cannot be lost by means that are not in line with what is acceptable. If we say that all candidates must move in this particular way, EC gives guidelines. Now, you blatantly refused for those guidelines. At that time it was the peak of COVID. That would go without saying. If you are Bobby Wine and you are told, please, let's leave crowds, let's have town hall meetings, as the Electoral Commission had cancelled. Now, for you choose to do it your way, they would stop you. And unfortunately, these are big crowds. Stopping you is not so easy. But by the way, Uganda, as by its motto, forgotten my country, God loves Uganda. To know that after elections, there was no serious outbreak of corona cases, is that God is still keeping his hand on Uganda. It is still forgotten my country. Corona was going to hit us so badly, now the country would be a ravaged story. Obviously, I'm mindful that our hospital infrastructure is still lacking material detail.
But maybe it wasn't more about that, it was more because the highest population are the youth, and the youth have a strong immune system that will really fight COVID-19. Don't you think that is the main reason?
Yeah, the grace is still sufficient with us.
Okay, Farida.
How would you describe the just concluded elections?
You see, there is a theory called legal positivism, which was expounded by Professor Hans Kelsen, is that once people have spoken and created a new legal order, that legal order takes over the rule of the country. The results that were declared, President Council Kamukama won. Now, we must follow. Actually, the leader is your leader, whether you voted him or not.
Yes, he's a president for all.
He's a president for all. Now, it's time to work now. We cannot remain electioneering all the time. A lot of time was lost through COVID, through politics. Now it's time to work and make money. The result, the outcome that came up, people who were not happy with them, they went to court. We'll see the outcome of the petitions. And that's why you can prove that you are cheated out. No, that is for the president. Members of parliament, they are fighting, and members of parliament. They withdrew it. I would take it on 2 grounds. One, the law is unfair. It gives a petitioner only 15 days to file a presidential election petition, which is short time. But the only way to fight it is you go for amendments in the parliament. Now, if there is unfair law, you must comply to what it demands. Now, put up your petition the way it is. Make sure, by the way, if we have to see the situations in the election, they happen even before voting day. If you are not happy, have a team at in time. Start preparing. Preparation is key. And then finally you have your petition ready for filing. If it becomes an afterthought, obviously you'll fail in it. So Kyagulanyi thought that his petition would not work out. His goal was to withdraw it. But unfortunately, and which I want to tell my brother to resist from, let us not vulgarize legal institutions. Let us not create legal defiance by saying we are going in people's courts. Which are people's courts? Court of public opinion. And you want to now? I don't know. I was waiting to see one. I was waiting to see one. Actually, social media started saying, creating old men, showing them they are seated, that now for us, of this area we are sitting, we are about to deliver a judgment. So many courts came up at that time, but then Uganda is a happy nation, a happy country. So once you don't get justice where you feel you can get it, because you feel you are not ready enough, then please, simple, try another time. Maybe better things will come out.
After 35 years in power, don't you think it's enough?
Obviously, to me, my biggest prayer would be that foundations for transition should start.
Have we even talked about them?
I'm saying I'm making an opinion, which is Kamukama David's opinion, or the one's opinion. But nevertheless, to me, I want transition to be well thought and be well made. I've seen the situation in Libya. We have seen the situation in northern Sudan. You have seen the situation in Egypt. Once there is change in leadership that is uncontemplated, then it's the country that goes back so many years backwards. All that has been achieved will be lost. Libya was a success story of Africa. Everyone who would graduate would be given a mortgage, would have a mortgage, would have some salary. Government would ensure that person begins working. But ever since, foreigners aided the removal of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, Uganda, we are better than Libya, so far ahead of them. So who is this person who is aiding destruction of foundations of the economy and democracy in Africa? I think there is a challenge. When our president was saying there is foreign intervention, I'm tempted to believe it's true. The situation in Libya was not normal. The situation in northern Sudan, people in the street, they had credit cards, demonstrators. They could be able to eat, drink, and feed.
Diversity of leaders is the reason why the foreign powers are coming in.
Who are they? Why are they coming in? The problems of Uganda must be solved by Ugandans. Problems of Africa must be solved by Africans. When Trump was saying it was rigged, who went there to help him? Who went there? African Union? Uganda? China? American problems should be for Americans. Then I hear our leaders saying, America, come and help us. America, come and help us. Are we children of America?
No.
Did America send him to stand? If America sent him to stand, let him go and stand in America. But let us have problems of Uganda to be solved by Ugandans.
So when we cancel, the NRM stroke NRA has done a lot. They've brought the country from the shambles of inferiority and they've made it blossom to the country Uganda we have now. A lot of peace, a lot of economic development. But you've not talked about peaceful transition of power. Why?
By the way, peaceful transition of power.
The only achievement that you have not got.
You know when it started? It started when a term changed using a vote. That was peaceful transition. But instead, what you are looking for, what you are looking for is change of face, not transition.
We have seen the same leader.
Yes.
Right now.
So now the change. So what you are talking about is not transition. It is change of face.
No, it is change. It is not change of power because it is always in.
It is change of face.
It is the same person coming up with the power.
Yes, but how does he get another term? Another term is got
Through an election.
through an election.
Free and fair.
Through an election.
An election
that is not free.
It has been tried by courts.
An election that he has organized himself.
You have beaten people. People have died. Why have you realized that this tension comes prior to the election and after the election it goes down? Why is it that people start dying towards election, start getting abducted towards
heavy deployment towards around towns?
Why is
what time did George Floyd die in America?
It was around that time also. But
don't you think there was a timing? Do you think there was a timing also?
Why we are alluding to?
Don't you think there was a timing?
It was there timing.
There was a timing.
Yeah.
It was to be used to bring down Trump, and it worked so well. Politics have their own dynamics. Unfortunately, the prayers bring them in when some of us are not in the know. And all prayers, by the way, they have their own innovations. So I would not want to be an authority in that.
Kamukama is a land gentleman who's jumping around with words to just not answer my question, but you answered my question. When do we get a peaceful transition?
A peaceful transition.
Let us say another.
To me, maybe when does President Museveni stop standing? Maybe when does he not be the president? I think that should be the question. But transition, provided you go into an election, and a new term, there is a new term is entered into after a contest and election results. There is transition from one term to another. But maybe the question should not be transition. The question should be, when do we see President Museveni not being the president?
Yes, you can answer that one.
That question is, it has several dynamics. One, it starts by amending the constitution to restore age limit and term limit.
You are the people who amended the.
I'm not in parliament. I've not been in parliament. And actually, it's not only the NRM.
You were not in
it was parliament.
You were represented by the
NRM was the one that in 2005 you took out the age
actually,
the term limits. In 2017 the age limit was also gone.
You see, to me, I think it's time now to try to bring some new things back into perspective. Right now, I would want our parliament to move to restore term limits like yesterday.
They've already made the move, yes.
By that may not have an issue with age limit.
Yeah, age is not.
Age should not be a ground to stop someone. Age, even we have seen USA, our role model. At what time did Trump stand to be the president? How old is Joe Biden?
78.
78. So meaning age limit may not be the biggest issue.
Age is not the problem.
But then we need restoration of term limits.
Yeah.
So to me, transition is there, but what is not there is President Museveni not standing.
Okay, before we enter about the constitutionalism of this country, I want you to just throw more light about this. In case President Museveni, God forbid, is no longer on earth, will the NRM survive? Because it looks like the politics of NRM are always revolved around an individual, President Museveni.
It's only in Tanzania where one party has stayed for a long time, and up to now it is having power since independence. It would be a little bit of a challenge beyond President Museveni, but there is still hope that if we can do our homework well, President Museveni can still be, sorry, NRM can survive beyond President Museveni. But that would be dependent on our homework. I think there are some issues within the leadership of the NRM party. I implore our president, by the way, that Your Excellency, let us grow cadreship. Let the young bride who have been supporting the party from the beginning be seen to take over the mantle. We want to see a Secretary General who has been a young NRM person, like who was a youth leader in NRM, or who has been supporting NRM party. But let us not remain with appeasement policy of getting people from opposition. They come, they lead the party. Make them ministers, give them other positions, but they should not be seen to lead the party. The party should be part of grooming of cadreship.
And then why would they give them ministership? I think these things should be given on merit.
You see, ministership.
Kamukama is a lawyer. Let me give him the constitutional, department ministry.
You see, when you are fishing in opposition, you can fish out the good ones. But opposition over time has had the court legislators.
Yeah, very
from the time of Agnes Yori and others. Awori. We have seen very qualitative legislators. To me, there's no problem getting from position. But the main thing that should be done is that for the party, let us make the party to be grown by NRM supporters. There the party will grow, and there are chances that it can even keep power for many more years. But once we are using sympathizers, we are using people from position, people have crossed to come and grow the party, then there is no love.
Okay, Counsel, let's talk about the constitutionalism in this country. What happened to constitutionalism in Uganda, rule of law? We're no longer seeing rule of law in this country. What happened?
To me, I'm not a pessimist. I'm not saying there is no rule of law. There is a rule of law. There is rule of law, but unfortunately, this is nascent democracy. A few challenges are still there. It's like a child. It's like a child who was trying.
You throw more light about nascent democracy. What do you mean by this?
This is young democracy that is still growing up. It's like expecting a child who started working yesterday to run and be a sprinter. A few things may not go right as expected. But me, I've not lost hope. Day in, day out, a few things are being made, bills are being passed, laws are being made, and laws must be followed. And some rogues, there are some rogues actually in government who are failing to follow the rule of law. But the good thing is that the law has become clear. There is individual accountability. Someone does something funny, something arbitrary, the law, they can sue you in your personal capacity.
Yes, you as an
even if you are a DPC, even if you are OC station, if you do something unconstitutional, it will catch up with you. So constitutionalism does not begin with me, and it does not begin with the president. It begins with me and you. Me and you. How do we see the constitutional order? What do we do? How do we take it? If there is something illegal, how do we fight it? Do I go on the street? Do I go to court? Let us test our courts, by the way.
We have tested them before.
Yesterday I was watching my friend Tamari Mirundi. He came in the studio with a panga that was going to take on the person who attacked his son. Attacking his son was bad, but also using a panga would be another something else that is also bad. You see, two wrongs don't make it right. When there is something wrong, let's look for better ways of fighting wrong things.
How do we restore the constitutionalism in this country before she comes in?
It's me and you to do it. Let all actors, state actors. The other day, I saw, was the president, the head of CIA, he refused the orders of Trump. If you are a commander in the forces, do something illegal, know that you'll be accountable. You see, people lie under the cover that we are doing the president's will, when the president is not aware. People try to use the president's name on many things. Corrupt officials, when they go to office, say, we have been sent by the president. They get benefits alleging because of the president. No, let's not keep it that way.
But okay,
we can have something better.
The president is not aware, but when he gets to know, what does he do? He doesn't do anything.
No, to me.
Let's give an example of the corrupt officials. He came out, led the anti-corruption work, and the corruption is still here with us. Even the corrupt officials are still in parliament. Okay, someone goes out of URA and now stands as the MOP. Have we done anything? Okay,
you see,
he's sacked from URA and now we have him as an MP. Have we done anything real?
Those are some of the unfortunate situations happening, and it pains many of us, but that's the unfortunate reality in government institutions. Partly, the president cannot be seen saying, "You don't stand." It's only Parliament making good laws that if there is this suspicion, you are not allowed to take this step. You are not to move this direction. If the president starts making laws himself, then he would have usurped the powers of Parliament.
As the NRM, as the party, you do not have rules for people who are going to stand. Like if you are a corrupt person, you've been caught in scandal, you are not standing for a political office, because now he came with the NRM card.
You see, the law is clear. Everyone is presumed innocent. The contrary is proved. If I've committed a crime,
being investigated, first stand aside.
No, that is the law is not saying so. We don't have any law to that effect. Maybe once it is registered, and then people can be stopped. But until there's no that effect, you cannot stop anyone. So you can't blame NRM that you are around someone who is alleged to have committed ABCD, not to be somewhere. Otherwise, suppose that person you are stopping is absolved in the future. What reparations are you going to give him? So to me, as we still stand, the law is law. Actually, law is an us. That was according to Bada show. Whether it is good law, bad law, we follow it until it is amended. Public Order Management Act was bad law. Some sections of it were bad law. When our members had helped in enacting them, he reached Ginger. They said, "Hey, Poma." It came up. He saw the only child he had created, but had become a ghost, was there haunting him. Gracie Vinjara in 1966, he had enacted Emergency Powers Retention Act, which was only applicable in Uganda. Now, he was arrested and tried in northern Uganda. He applied for habeas corpus. He was released. They are put in a plane, him with Adoko Nechon. They are arrested at Entebbe Airport upon getting out. Under the Emergency Powers Retention Act, which was enacted in the advent of the Kabaka crisis, you could be detained for up to 6 months without being taken to court. So the law he had made, Gracie Vinjara, he was becoming a victim of the same law.
I can also add on General Karuhanga, who used to say that we advocated for more days before aligning people in court.
Yes.
The same thing happened to him. He was in unlawful arrest for 91 days.
I recall the words of Mao one time he was on Capital Gang. Yeah. He said that when you are making words, make sure they are soft and simple, so that when you are forced to swallow them back, they will not cause you constipation. So my friends, when we are in public positions, let's use them responsibly. Let us serve the people. Let us serve the public.
And there is nothing you get from not serving the public.
I recall Al Gore, after his contest with Bush, he said, America will go, Bush will go, Al Gore will go, but America will stay. Yes. So at the end of it, can we work for better Uganda?
I wish many MPs, many NRM cadres were like you. Most of them are pompous, and the way they speak, you cannot really act. That's why many of them were lost the election.
You see, you forgive their ignorance. We love our party, we love our country, but we don't like a few arbitrary actions. We want our country to remain on a good path. Whether you're opposition, whether you're NRM, we are all Ugandans. We have the same blood, and we are aspiring for a better Uganda.
As we come to the end of the show, Kamukama, let's talk about these systems. There is the judicial system, the executive, and the legislature. The judicial system has not been really, it's not on the equal scale. Yet the constitution mandates they are all supposed to be level. What next for the judiciary?
That is a very big challenge, as a matter of fact. and it goes to funding. This, you see, when you see judiciary, executive, actually, I want to bring, when you say executive, you see legislature and judiciary. It's like the Holy Trinity in the Bible.
Yes.
God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And none of them acts in isolation.
Yes.
In absence of God, actually God sent Jesus. When Jesus left the world, he said, before I leave, I will give you the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is a helper, is always with us. So the same thing. The president, which is the executive, can be seen as God. Legislature can be seen to be in the position of Jesus Christ. Judiciary should be seen as the Holy Spirit, as the helper. When all other ills come up, it's the one to keep the place in a normal way. I pray to executive and legislature that while they are fighting for their stay, let them know that they need judiciary.
It shouldn't even be a prayer. That is what they are supposed to do.
Yeah, but you see, if it is not being done, then you pray. The reason we go to prayer, in most cases, some people actually don't pray all the time. But when they are pushed on the wall, they pray and pray, say, God, it's either you or no one else.
So do you know there are many judges still taking borders to work?
Not the judges, at least.
The judges take
maybe magistrates, even the magistrates don't.
They do.
Then
these claims have been there, not in Kampala here. Go deep down there, in places like Apala.
But you see, that is also trying to bring down the reputation of judiciary. I would say. You may not necessarily have a government vehicle, but you also, as a person who has aspired to take that office, improve your surroundings a bit. If you are being paid 2.5 million, take a loan on it. Have a vehicle. But if a magistrate is going to come on a border, then what about this person, a litigant who is coming driving his vehicle? I think
even, be given justice at that.
No, eventually that's how corruption begins.
Yes.
That's how corruption begins.
It can't be like the United States, Kamukama. A judge is really compensated to an extent that they cannot lack. They are incorruptible. But in this Uganda, it's a different case.
I agree with you that our judiciary needs more funding. When you find one magistrate is carrying a whole district and you're expecting justice, how many cases can you hear in the day? When all the police cells are full, when land matters and contract matters are coming up. So let us fund judiciary the more. Let us have more magistrates. Personally, remain on the bar. I don't want to run into judiciary at the moment, but let them be ready and strong enough to dispense justice. Let them not see Kamukama coming in his vehicle driving and they get intimidated.
Farida, can you please go to the comments? Tell us what the people are saying about Counsel Kamukama. David, right here on the mic.
Semugenze Nasifa Gamba is Uganda only for Westerners. All DPCs, presiding officers, RPC, army commanders are occupied by this.
Counsel, those are your comments.
Unfortunately, that statement is not followed by facts. If you say that the DPC, if you say that 100 DPCs are from Western Uganda, now this is my first question that I cannot easily answer. But you see, let's begin with the upper side, upper Eclection. Chief Justice is not from Uganda. Speaker of Parliament is not from Western Uganda. Sorry, not from Western Uganda. Let us, Vice President is not from Western Uganda. But when Kamukama appears, no, they say it is for Westerners.
But those places have power, the ones you're talking about.
Speaker of Parliament without power.
No,
Chief Justice without power.
Is chosen by the legislature.
Yes.
We're talking about these appointed positions.
Appointed positions, yes. They have powers. And they do their work without interference of the executive. Where there is interference, sometimes it is minimal, and it's the fault of judicial officers not taking their stand, or such officers not taking their stand.
They talk of human rights all the time, but they don't talk of what is at stake for the country.
Yeah, thank you, Kuchiriza Agri. Preservation of state ranks above anything else. I read the book last afternoon. The beginning of the second hearing, they quoted the words of Bishop Dotovich of Vadum. I will try to recite those words again. They say that when the existence of the church is threatened, she is released from all commandments of morality. With unity as the common objective, the use of all means sanctified, be it violence, cunningness, simony, an individual can be sacrificed for the preservation of the church. No, that's a bishop saying if the church is under threat, she is from all laws of morality. The same thing, if statehood is threatened, for them, they don't go on morals, they go on law. What do you expect? So to me, we must balance both. While you want human rights to be protected, also do what is civilly right. Let us be responsible Ugandans. Let us not expect to move in one direction.
Raymond Muhaisa, is not a question, just as you couldn't miss the show. Yehu Chikuri agamba Honorable Counsel Kamukama, my next MP Sheemah municipality. Do you plan to stand again 2026?
Too early still, but then a court serve is always there.
Nicholas, he's watching from Isingilo. Other comments just would they go to Alaganda, they come and so good to Nuli and Batola Babude. So would they Anaenga Menava de Kongamula Batumusime you watching from Umbalala? Thank you for watching Pamikuano, Mena. Those who are watching from Uganda, UAE, Mena, USA, thank you for watching. Counsel your last ones.
Thank you for hosting me. But I call upon Ugandans that we have been in Corona days, we've been in election time, it's time to work. At the end of the day, what do you give back to your family? What do you stand for? Imagine dying on the street and leaving your kids behind. Who's going to look after them? Me and you, let us be responsible Ugandans, and let us work hard for a better Uganda. Let us keep probing, let us keep doing good things. You know, at the end, during the Vietnamese War of Independence, the main maxim was that the War of Independence, however long it takes, at the end of it, there is freedom. So if we keep doing good things, at the end of it, you reach where you are going. And let us thank President Museveni that while people may see wrong perspectives, I believe he's a good parent, he's having Uganda at heart, and while we need people who need power, let us use lawful means. Let us not talk of plan B, plan C, plan D, plan over what. Eventually,
it's an election.
It's always an election. Let's stick to plan A. Let's go in an election. You either win or lose. Counsel, and if you know that you can't lose, never go in politics.
Counsel, these very same things they're talking about, your cadre got a plan B in 1980 and went to the bush, but the votes were there.
At that time, our constitution was not as robust as it is now, and there was no situation of using constitutional means during that time. But they used the acceptable means at that time, created a new legal order, a new law order, and now let's use the constitution in the change of power.
But okay, just because we are out of time, I will let him give us a fun fact about him in just a minute. What do you like to do in your time? Your hobbies?
For me, I'm a people person. I love people. I love sports. I read a lot.
Oh yeah, I can tell that you read.
And part of the books I read, it's the Bible.
Wow.
So at the end of it, we can achieve many things when God is in charge.
We shall not add on to that.
Thank you, Counsel, and thank you, viewers. We bring to you these brilliant people such that you can drink from their pot of wisdom. Tomorrow is a Thursday. We're going to have another person in the studios. So to be Edgar
Alright, mwebale nnyo kubanga mulaba Mighty Drive, ndoza byonna sina kyenyongera kebisinga byonna kansa byogeddeko constitutionalism, atubulya ku lugendo olwa Sheemah municipality kyekyabaawo byonna bitunyonyodde nena kubiriza ne NRM okwetunulamu kubanga agambye nako challenges balina nyingi naye nze nga nvaawo leero mbajjukiza kintu kimuzuukuka ogenda okole oba tonakola tandikayo future because bagamba you're working for the future but you cannot work on your future yet you're not working today is what determines your future and ekirala bannange weeriireko akasente kooba okyali mulamu because life is really too short. My name is Edgar Mathew. Nabadde ne Farida Bikobere. We had Counsel Kamukama David okuva mu Byamugisha Gabriel and company advocates. Until tomorrow, same station, it is the Mighty Drive. And special shout out to our producer and director Arnold Mukose Anthony. Then Abadeku camera Mumbeja Lilian Luwede. Yes, that Nayabadeku driver of Abade Jeremiah Muchibi is a Tianmuitira Salongo Abadeko. So from the entire Mighty Drive team, those are no way to tema. Enjoy your day. Good morning.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book. The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Real Hotel. The ticket comes with a book, all this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 9000 76 or 0783 04 7785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Digital in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Digital. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Digital. Digital, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.